Hey guys, Minecraft Steve here with my Minecraft Steve shirt, and you probably started watching this video because you're gonna be a freshman in high school and you're afraid to die. Either that or you're one of my returning subscribers. Thanks for supporting the videos. Mwah, I love you. But most likely you clicked on this video looking for some tips to survive high school. And that's exactly what I'm providing for you in this video. I'm gonna help guide you through your first few weeks of high school and give you the best tips and advice. Here we go. First of all, before I get... There's a bug on the camera lens. There's a bug? What? I don't know if you guys could see that. First of all, some things for my returning subscribers. I've made a new Instagram account. It's a meme page. It's called not.lit.memes. I'm posting a bunch of memes on there. So if you want to go ahead and follow, go ahead. And also, guys, I got my temporary license. So I'm now on the roads.
You better watch out.
Alright, without further ado, I'm gonna make sure you guys aren't gonna die in high school. Here we go. I gotta pull out my notes, as in my phone. Okay, so tip number 1, don't be scared and afraid your first few days. Don't be afraid because you're a few minutes late to your classes. The teachers completely understand that you're lost, you're new. It's a completely different environment than it is in middle school. Also, don't hesitate to ask a teacher or a staff member where a certain classroom is or where a certain room number is. They completely understand that you don't know, and if you're maybe 5 or 10 minutes late to class, they're not gonna hound on you about it. Also, don't be scared to ask an upperclassman where a certain classroom is. You might have heard the stereotype that the upperclassmen pick on the lowerclassmen, and yes, that is somewhat true, but I'm here to tell you that a lot of that isn't 100% true. Yes, that does happen, but I think it's very over dramatized. That stuff does happen, but it doesn't happen as often as people say it does. The most you're gonna get is people are gonna call you an immature freshman, because it is a stereotype that freshmen are a bit more immature than the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And that is true, okay? I'm here to tell you, you are an immature freshman. You're gonna look back on your freshman year, years down the road, and be like, yeah, I was an immature freshman. But it's one of those things that if a senior says, stupid freshman, it's just one of those things that you gotta shrug off. Tip number 2, be involved. Don't just be at school, you should also be in school. And what do I mean by that? Join clubs, join classes that interest you. Our school, personally, we have clubs for almost everything. We have gaming clubs, we have, music, we have art, dude. We even have an LGBT alliance group, which is absolutely amazing. I think stuff like that is really cool, and you can really find your kind of group of friends through this, because high school is a very grouped environment. Pick a certain club or something that interests you, join that club. People with the same hobbies will be there with you, and you'll be able to make friends easier, and thus this will help you socially. Let's say you're coming out of middle school with only 2 or 3 friends, like me personally. In high school, you're gonna have a lot more opportunities to make friends, and this personally really helped me out. So find a hobby that you like, because everyone has a certain hobby. Everyone has a certain interest. Join a club that relates to that interest or that hobby. Me personally, I'm a choir boy, I'm a singer, I love music in general. So my freshman year, I went ahead and joined choir, and in that men's choir was this kid named Harrison, and me and him are still best friends to this day. And today I am a junior, I'm in my 11th grade. I've known this guy since my freshman year, and we haven't stopped being friends since. I'm also very involved with Boy Scouts, and I'm also an intro into acting this semester, which is really, really fun. And then my second semester, I plan to do photography. Right now, I'm taking AutoCAD classes because I plan to be an engineer. That's kind of the field I want to study in college. Those are just some of my personal examples, and all of those classes, all of those clubs that I'm a part of, I've made so many great friends. So join clubs, join classes, join things that interest you. Tip number 3, teachers are there to help you. If you're struggling with a class, class, just go up to a teacher and be like, hey, I'm not understanding this. I kind of need help. I mean, it's not like it's their job or anything. They're getting paid to educate the youth. So if you're not being educated, they're not doing their job. So if you don't get help, you're really hurting both of you, the teacher and the student. Don't be afraid to ask stupid questions in class. As long as you get the knowledge you need to pass the class, that's what really matters. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Tip number 4, grades matter. Do your best because it really matters a lot more than it did in middle school. Jobs, they look at your grades, they see how you're performing, and if they see that you don't perform well in school, then they're gonna automatically think that you're not gonna perform well in their work field, and they're not gonna hire you. It's not just jobs that look at these things either. So many things look at your grades because that really matters. You only have 4 years, and those 4 years are your only chance, so please give it your best shot, because if you fail, you won't have another chance to do high school later on in life. Tip number 5, this is really gonna suck to hear, but don't hesitate to cut people out. It's gonna be a hard pill to swallow, but if someone's being negative, if someone's any form of negative pollution in your life, cut them out of your life. If someone is your friend, if you consider someone a friend, but they're not really acting like a true friend, go ahead and say, hey, I don't think we can be friends anymore. If someone's pouring negative pollution on your ecosystem, then you need to cut them out of your life. Your ecosystem matters more because you're the one that has to live in it. I might have stolen that analogy from Jaden Animations, but that's besides the point. Tip number 6, don't worry so much about bullying in high school. If you were like me and you were in middle school and you were the kid that was always picked on, I'm here to tell you that a lot of that is going to sort of slowly start fading away once you get into high school, because people start to get more mature and they realize they're not being good people. In fact, a lot of my middle school bullies, I guess you could say, we're more passive aggressive with each other and we just don't talk. So bullying will get a lot less severe once you get into high school, and as years go on, a lot of that's going to sort of fade away. I'm not saying that's 100% true. Most of the time it does happen though. Like typically it starts fading away. So I wouldn't worry about it so much going into high school. Tip number 7.
Brush your teeth, please brush your teeth. Also take a shower, and also put on deodorant. No one wants to smell you. Yeah.
Sorry for that cringy song that you had to go through, but it's true. No one wants to smell you. Please put on deodorant. Please shower, because no one's gonna want to talk to you if you're prancing around high school stinking. No one wants to smell your BO. You can't not shower. And you can't shower just once a week. You have to shower once a day, or at least once every other day, please, just for the sake of all of us. Tip number 8, that's to participate. Go to football games, go to dances. Again, like I said earlier, don't just be at school, be in school. Again, that'll help you a lot socially if you just show up to events, if you participate. And yes, high school's gonna be boring. Homework is boring, homework is annoying, but if you do fun events and you try to make high school more interesting, it's gonna end up being more interesting. If you go into high school with the mindset that this is gonna be the most boring period of your life, it's gonna be the most boring period of your life. But if you spice things up and you look at all the fun things that you can do in high school and you look at that with a greater value, you're gonna enjoy your time a lot more in high school than if you just looked at it as a normal boring day. Again, high school is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Don't blow it. Make the most out of it. Tip number 9, don't worry about dating. Don't be that guy that's always trying to get a girlfriend. If the opportunity shows up, absolutely go for it, but don't try to force it. I think that's a mistake that I personally tried to make, because I was always in search of a girlfriend and I was like, oh, I need a girlfriend so bad. In terms of socially, the only thing that truly matters in high school is that you have a tight, good group of friends. Because I'm sorry, this is gonna be really hard to say, 99.9% of high school relationships don't end up working in the end. That's just the nature of it. Now, some of them do. For example, my aunt and uncle, they met in high school, they're married, and they have kids. But if you're in a relationship, cherish it still. Make the most out of it. Like I said, you gotta make the most out of what you have in high school. Okay, so I'm currently editing this video, and I realized at this specific point, I was kind of like rambling on for a while, to the point where I was talking about things that don't relate to the actual subject, so I'm just gonna cut straight to the case. I'm not saying don't date. I'm not saying be scared of dating. I'm saying don't force yourself into relationships, because you could end up with someone that you're not compatible with, or someone that you're not happy with if you force yourself into relationships. I'm saying don't force yourself into relationships because you could end up being unhappy. Let that stuff come to you. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, I'm moving on to the next point. Tip number 10. Don't skip class. If you don't know what skipping class is, that's where you don't show up for a certain class in a day. Like, let's say, oh, dang it, 4th period, I have a test. I'm just not going to show up to the class. Your teachers are going to find out that you're skipping classes. Because if they see, oh, this student showed up for 4 of these classes today, but didn't show up for 2 of these classes, but then later on showed up for 2 more classes. They're gonna see that you didn't show up to those 2 classes, that you hid in the bathroom the whole time, and you're gonna be in trouble. They're gonna go to the office, they're gonna call your parents. It's just not gonna work out. If you have a test, study for it. If you didn't do your homework, own up to it. Don't just skip class for the purpose of skipping class. It's very pointless. Tip number 11, share this video. That's all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, follow my new meme page, follow my Instagram, all that jazz. Peace out.